You're watching 48 Fastcast.
All right, y'all, welcome into the 48 Fastcast this morning. The big story, of course, is the weather. Not so much right now, but the big winter storm headed our way this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of eyes on that, a lot of chatter on social media as people get prepared for this weekend, Jeff.
Yeah, a lot of things you can do now, though, that you can prepare for the weekend. You know, whether it plays out as rain, sleet, freezing rain, snow. If you go ahead and make those preparations ahead of time, you'll be ready for it. That's all you can really do. You know, make sure you have a way to get updates on your phone if you lose power. That's one thing. Charge your phone. Throw a blanket in your car. Who knows? You might get stuck in your car. You never know. A winter storm watch issued for the area for Friday night through Sunday afternoon for all the Tennessee Valley. For snow, sleet, freezing rain, and icy roads, and there could be some power outages too. We got to keep an eye on all this. And I want to emphasize too, this storm is 72 hours out. Back in the old days, we didn't put any snowfall graphics out until about a day or two before the storm. Now, with all the social media and all this, pressure to put things out 3 days in advance, everyone's like, well, can you tell me now what it is? There's going to probably be some changes up until Saturday. Stay with 48 for the latest. We'll keep you updated. Satellite and radar, clouds building in now. There's some rain off to our west. That's our forecast for today. Just rain this afternoon and tonight. Nothing icy tonight. Temperatures will be in the 50s by day. A little breezy, make you feel a little cooler. Once the rain moves on out, Thursday is mainly just a cloudy, few showery kind of day, around 50. And then the storm gets here Friday night. All these different alert days here for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Huge impact. Doesn't matter if it's rain, snow, sleet, freezing rain. Doesn't matter how much snow falls in your backyard. What happens is when all this precipitation comes to the ground, it starts to freeze up on the roads when a blast of frigid air comes on in for Sunday. And it looks like that frigid air is going to stick around for the following week on Monday and Tuesday. And we'll take a look at how cold it's going to be coming up in your 10-day forecast.
This is your 48 First Alert Road Report, sponsored by Bankston Motorhomes.
All right, we have our first crash of the morning. It is in Huntsville. It is on University Drive right at the Parkway. Starting to see some slowdowns on University there. It says a lane is blocked, so be aware of that. Take your time, be careful, especially if you're heading out gathering supplies right now. Taking you now to the River City in Decatur, starting to see some slowdowns pick up near the bridge and also on 72 in both directions here. So just be aware of that. Your drive times right now are still looking pretty good. Decatur to Huntsville about 20 minutes. Athens to Huntsville about 30.
All right, thanks, Gina. Well, this morning, 48 is on your side, sharing what you need to know over this as we get ready for this potential winter storm this weekend. Joe Holmes with Decatur Utilities said a lot goes into prepping for harsh weather events like this one. Now, that includes loading trucks full of supplies and getting crews ready. Holmes says that there are some things you can do to prepare as well.
One of the things we recommend is get a kit together ahead of time. Non-essential or all of your essential medicines, non-perishable food, water, the things you need to last for a few days if we were to have extended type power outages.
Now, Daniel Caruth, the owner of Valley Feed and Landscaping, said customers are already coming in to get bowl warmers, heat lamps, and hay to keep their animals warm ahead of this winter weather event.
Leaders in Madison County are also preparing. They say they don't want to see a repeat of 2024 when things shut down for about a week. The county previously had 0 snowplows, but has since bought 8. Crews have also installed salt brine machines and have 400 tons of salt ready to go. But if icy roads last for more than 2 days, officials say there really isn't much to be done. Power outages are also a concern, leading to many people buying alternative heating sources. More than 200 gas heaters were sold within hours yesterday at Rural King.
We knew it was coming, and we had heaters that were in back. I mean, they were in trailer and storage. We had brought out everything from ice melt to heaters to wood pellets. Anything that they can use to have a heat source, we got it today, and we sold out of it. Oh man, now I have to say, this was mind-blowing.
Both Rural King and Ace Hardware Management say they're restocking all their equipment in the coming days before the storm hits. Even though we can't be 100% sure of what lies ahead, they are recommending everyone be prepared for anything.
Yeah, and people across our area are preparing for potential winter storms. Of course, later this week, some of the shoppers in Guntersville are heading to the stores to stock up. Workers at the Piggly Wiggly in Guntersville tell us they had a lot of customers yesterday buying food and other essentials. The store manager says even the usual shoppers were stocking up ahead of this weekend.
Even with our regular customers we see every morning almost, they're like, yeah, we're in here making sure that we've got what we need, stocking up on anything. You know, everybody's coming in, they're rushing in for the milk, the eggs, the bread. We have a really good buy on eggs, so they're definitely stocking up on those right now.
And workers with several hardware stores in the area say more people are buying heaters, generators, and propane.
A historical marker will not be placed next to a Confederate statue outside the Lauderdale County Courthouse. The marker would have provided context about the statue's origins, coinciding with the end of Reconstruction and the spread of white supremacy policies known as Jim Crow laws. Some community members who attended yesterday's council meeting were not happy with this outcome. They argue that historical context is important.
And when we do not write history down for our children and grandchildren to read it later on, you know how those stories go when we tell them by mouth. They can change, but when it's written down, people can read it. I don't have to be alive for other people to read it later on. I love the city of Florence. Adding a sign, adding a plaque is not eliminating anything. It's only adding to it.
Camille Bennett with Project Say Something says a historical marker will still go up on a different private property.
A former Lauderdale County judge who used county money on himself will not receive a new trial. That ruling was made yesterday. Gil Self was sentenced to 12 years in prison back in December for using county money for personal gain. He was in court yesterday asking for a new trial. Now, he did claim that the statute he was convicted under was too vague, but a judge rejected that argument. Self's attorneys also said that his sentence was especially strict and violated the 8th Amendment. That argument was also rejected. 2
people are recovering this morning after being injured in a crash on Highway 72 and Moores Mill Road. You can see a photo of that scene on your screen right now. Now, one person was taken to the hospital for their injuries. They are expected to be okay. The other person was evaluated at that crash scene.
Friday is a 48 First Alert Weather Day, sponsored by Mr. Reuter Plumbing for all your emergency plumbing services.
Friday, a 48 First Alert Weather Day. Let's talk about what's going on for Friday and the weekend. This is a snapshot at midnight Saturday. So much of Friday is actually setting up to be dry. It's more towards the overnight hours that the first part of the precipitation will move in with some sleet and freezing rain. That will cause a few icy spots. And then the forecast models, this is where it gets a little funky. And what happens is, do we warm up and we get into a rain event? The European model seems to think so. Other forecast models keep it kind of cold and more sleet and freezing rain. That's something we have to iron out for Saturday as we get closer to that day. But if this plays out, this turns out to be mainly a rain event with some icy conditions for far northwest Alabama. Eventually, all that rainfall is going to be on the ground, wet the roads, and then we have to freeze it up and we get icy on Sunday. And that's going to be the concern. Again, I cannot stress this enough. It does not matter how the precipitation falls from the sky. When it gets to the ground, it's wet, and it's all going to freeze up when the temperatures take a nosedive, especially on Sunday, maybe even more towards the nighttime hours. Some very icy conditions expected. You're watching 48 News Fastcast. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Huntsville Hospital has purchased Crestwood Medical Center in a $450 million deal. All Crestwood facilities will now be under the Huntsville Hospital Health System umbrella. That includes the freestanding ER in Harvest. Huntsville Hospital Health System President and CEO Jeff Sam says the move will improve your ability to receive important care.
Our health system believes that everyone should have a choice to get care in their local community. We're so proud to have kept rural hospitals open across North Alabama so people in a local town can choose to use their local hospital. This one's no different. People who have chosen Crestwood for years can continue to do so. And when anyone needs a higher level of care, We now have a coordinated network where we can seamlessly move people between facilities to help you get the right care in the right place at the right time.
The deal is expected to be finalized in the next few months.
Well, warming shelters are opening up ahead of this weekend's winter storm. Hands Across Decatur officials are asking for volunteers on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, you can text the number that's on your screen right now with your name and what day that you can work.
Friday is a 48 First Alert Weather Day, sponsored by Mr. Rooter Plumbing for all your emergency plumbing services.
Yeah, certainly a lot of people in our area who want to be able to help out. I know a lot of people are preparing for this as well. So
yeah, and I think the point we really want to drive home here is, yes, we don't know exactly what's going to happen because it's hard to tell until, you know, sometimes the very last minute here. But either way, significant impacts, and preparing is not panicking. It's just getting stuff that you'll use anyway.
It's just information you digest. That's really all this is. It's like, okay, we know there's a storm coming. We don't know if it's going to be big snow or more ice or more rain, but what we do know is that there's going to be a long duration precipitation event. We do know that there's going to be some really cold air too. No cold air today. Let's get you through the day first. Afternoon planner, some rain coming in like this afternoon, and it's just going to be rain. This is just a rain event today, low 50s. Rain will continue tonight. Take a look at your forecast, and you can see clouds building throughout the morning, and there comes the rain in the afternoon. If you have plans to be out during the afternoon or maybe for that evening commute, expect some wet roads. Rain won't be terribly heavy, but still an impact with some wet roads for the evening commute as they'll move from west to east pretty quickly. And then by Thursday, models kind of backing off on the rain a bit in the morning and mainly just a cloudy day, maybe a few peaks of sunshine in the afternoon, but quiet around 50. That's when we turn our attention to the next weather maker, which is the winter storm as we go into the weekend. So rain later today and tonight, but then we turn our attention to the winter storm, all types of precipitation, rain, sleet, freezing rain, and some snow. But again, this is not going to be probably a big snow event. I know some of you really want snow, but the temperatures may not be cold enough. This is more of a freezing rain sleet setup. Frigid temperatures will come in probably sometime Saturday night or Sunday. Depending on how fast those temperatures drop will dictate how icy it will be for the second half of the weekend. So I dropped the camera back a bit more so you can see the big picture. There's the rain snow line, sleet, freezing rain, snow to the north. Like if Nashville was my forecast area, it'd be all snow, it'd be slam dunk, easy, easy, easy forecast. For us, it's never that simple. A little nose of warmer air is going to try to work into this thing. What that does is it throws off the rain snow line and makes it more of a sleet and freezing rain event that may transition to some rain for Saturday, and much of Saturday night may end up turning out to be just rain. But by the time we get to Sunday, you can see the back edge of this start to push out. That's when the cold temperatures dive south, and that's when everything starts to freeze up. And it could be very slick as we go into not just the weekend, but even beyond, like Sunday night and Monday morning. And you got a low temperature going from 29 to 8. What happens when you freeze everything up on Sunday? It just stays rock hard at 8 degrees. You're not gonna melt that at all. Same on Monday, even with some sunshine. Another cold night Monday night, and even on Tuesday, I imagine that morning commute will have some roads that are still very slick, especially secondary roads, roads that may have some elevation to them. And then finally, by the middle of the week, that 42 on Wednesday can't come fast enough. That should start to melt things. But even at night, it's still cold. So whatever melts during the day, refreezes at night again.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing cycle after a storm like this.
And I know you mentioned some of the concern with some parts of our area that do have that elevation, some hills too, so just something to watch out for.
Definitely.
Be careful, y'all, and keep it on 48 News, 48 First Alert weather app, great tool. And we will see you throughout the morning with much more news, traffic, and of course, weather updates. Have a good one.